Hi everybody, it's Jules here, and I'm going to do a week 30 update for you. Not much has happened physically. Obviously I'm just getting a bit bigger. I can feel the baby move a lot more on the sides here, and just overall my belly has expanded more to the sides. Before it was like more in the front. There's been some more movement under the ribs here, and it hasn't been that sharp, like electrifying pain that I was describing from a couple weeks ago. This is more just like rib thumping. It's kind of funny. But it's not too painful yet, at least. I don't know, sleeping has been pretty good. Still getting up once a night to pee. Obviously still with my body pillow on the sides, and I'm getting, I guess, a little bit frustrated with not being able to sleep on my back anymore. I find myself kind of in that position and then be like, oh, I have to move, and you know, it just kind of annoys me, but it's fine. I'm trying to find a new filming location for now, because the blue room where I used to film is now the baby's room, and it's almost ready, kind of, maybe a little bit. We have the crib coming tomorrow, and that'll be assembled, and we got a changing table. Originally we were gonna get a low dresser, but we decided to just keep the dresser we had in there and get the change table. And then we'll be getting a glider rocker from my parents' house, and it was the same one that my mom used with me. And we have like a little bookshelf, so I'll definitely do a nursery tour when it's all finished. And we got blinds, which is really exciting. The whole house needed blinds, and they look really great in the baby's room especially, and I think we're still gonna hang some curtains up as well, just some blue ones, because it kind of matches the theme we had going on anyway, which is a woodland theme. So anyway, okay, so going back, oh, Todd, hey, excuse me. Going back to 30 weeks is when we had our, Todd, come on, is when we had going back to week 30 is when we had our prenatal classes, and it was just a weekend crash course, and the teacher was a birth doula and a yoga instructor, and she, I don't know, had some childbirth education certificate or something. Because I'd kind of blindly signed up for this class, I was a little bit worried about it, but then as soon as I got there, I realized that, you know, her teaching style and her views on births really matched with mine. And so we learned about, you know, like some relaxation techniques and breathing, and she taught the men how to do some nice lower back massage that would be beneficial during labor, and some of like the laboring positions we can do with our partners, like the, you know, the slow dance one, or like the lean back and stuff like that. We had a workbook that we went through, and we read some stuff. We watched some videos. We learned a lot about breastfeeding, which I was grateful for. One thing I learned, which was so cool, and some videos we watched, and I think it was called, oh, I forget now. The mother just lies there, and it's skin-on-skin contact, and she was talking and promoting about that so much, because really it's like one of the best ways to get the baby accustomed to breastfeeding. So the woman, the mom is waiting, and her nipples are out, and the baby's just lying there, and it's like unassisted breastfeeding, and on its own the baby like will find the nipple, because he can smell the milk and see the darkened areola and stuff. So like there's just so many like shots and all this footage of these babies like can't see, can hardly move, but like they turn their head and then they like shuffle over to find the nipple, and then they latch on right away and find it. So obviously that's like on the super lucky end of breastfeeding things, because I know it's not always easy for women, but that was really cool and just inspiring. And one thing that I really got from leaving the class was that this is a natural part of life, and if we just trust ourselves and trust our bodies, we should be able to do this. And it really empowered me to give birth naturally, which is something that I've always wanted to do anyway, and it's kind of opened our eyes to home birth, and it's something that we are considering. And you know, there's a lot to think about and prepare for, but it's actually something that the midwives can kind of like do or not do whenever you want, at any point you want during your labor. So that was really cool to me, because I didn't know if I had to like, you know, prepare ahead of time and like sign up for the hospital or not sign up for the hospital, but basically we can like pre-register for the hospital and then like choose to go or not go, and kind of make it a game time decision. And which I really like that, because I feel like I'm the type of person that isn't comforted by the doctors in the hospitals. I know some women feel better in that kind of surroundings, but for me, I think being home would allow me to relax more and have the type of birth I want, because I won't feel inhibited by like the hospital surroundings and like, oh, who's listening? Is someone in the room next door? Can they hear me? I can't get up because you know what I mean? I just want to be able to like move freely and all of that. So anyway, not decided, but definitely considering it. I'm trying to keep my positive views on all this alive and remember how I felt when I finished the classes, because when you kind of let it linger and you think about birthing, it can become really scary really quickly, and I'm trying to remind myself that this is what women are supposed to do and my body's prepared and blah blah blah. I would also just like to say that I am getting a new camera for Christmas, and I'm super excited about it. It's a Nikon Coolpix, and we already have it downstairs under our little makeshift tree area thing, because this camera sucks and it keeps cutting me off and I'm so frustrated. Anyway, so that really wraps up week 30. Yeah, it felt great to have that class under our belt and to feel that much more knowledgeable about the whole process, because yeah, knowledge is great. And the main thing I got from the class is that everyone should just make an informed decision that's best for them, and that's what I liked about it, is that she didn't push childbirth one way or the other. It was just, she didn't like discourage anyone from getting an epidural, but she says make an informed decision, like do your research, the knowledge is power. So I agree with that, and knowledge is, for me, it helps me overcome the fear of it all if I learn more about it. So yeah, there's that. So anyway, I did have a midwife appointment in week 30, and everything was fine. I measured normal. They signed us up for a home birth info night that they hold at the midwife clinic. So we're gonna attend that. I think in January sometime, I guess. Maybe it's December even, I don't know. We will get the call when they set it up. But, and then they tested me for the yeast, and she called me a few days ago and she said it was positive, which we obviously knew was positive because my yeast problem is ongoing. So I kind of think where I'm at with this is that I do need to try harder to reduce my sugar intake, because I'm sure it will help. Although I do think my yeast problem is hormonal, so even if it's hormonal, I don't think the sugar will cure it, but I know it will help. So I don't want to torture myself through Christmas, because that's just unfair. I am a pregnant lady and I do want to eat some cake and such things. So I'm just like around home and during the week, I'm just gonna not have sugar, just try really hard. Like I don't need it, I don't have to have it. And then at holiday parties I'll limit myself to a little bit, and then I think in January I'll try to do a really much more stricter, I wouldn't say cleanse, but just regimen of not having sugar, and hoping that maybe the yeast will go away before the birth. But there is no harm to the baby during the birth. Right now, with these yeast infections, they were just saying that it can make my tissue more sensitive, so I'd be more likely to tear. So there's that, but I feel like the chances of tearing are pretty high either way. So anyway, I don't know. But yeah, so I feel like I will have yeast infection during my birth, but maybe I won't. So there you go, all my history on yeast infections all over the internet. Hope you enjoyed that. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Take care.